Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hello and welcome to another exciting Vobes show on a Monday, on the 6th of January 2020. And it's just me on my own today. Unfortunately... Oh, my goodness. What are you doing here? You don't come in on a Monday.
I can't do Wednesday, so I'm here now.
Oh, she can't do Wednesday, so she's here now. Yeah, that's all right.
There you go. Spat that out quick, didn't I?
You did. She spat that out quick.
No messing.
No messing at all. It's lovely to have you on the show on a Monday.
It's good to have you on the show on a Monday.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Instead of you watching the show,
yeah,
you're actually here in the show.
In the show.
Yeah, taking part. Yeah. And one of the reasons that you're here today, lovely Julia, is because in day...
We have the lovely Ernie Samat. We
Hello,
have
Ernie.
Judith. We have Andrew Norris. We have Come Walk With Me. We have Fiona Cooper. We have Laura R. We have Linda Kane. We have Nigel Sadler, Anne Osborne, Andy Stacey, Robert Croatia. Hello, everybody.
Hello. It's so kind of you to join us on this very important day, Epiphany Day. And I hope you've all had an epiphany. I've got my Piff helmet back up there.
I'll have a piff of you.
I think that's a biff,
oh,
not a piff. But you might be taking a piff. Anyway,
might be.
We've been out filming on the Epiphany, and we've caught a vicar doing a little bit of graffiti on his church.
Yeah.
But you'll have to wait to see about that in the week. We've also been to Nudegate, and you got that all wrong, didn't you? Because you took all your clothes off and you ran around the gate in the nude, and I had to avert my gaze and say...
You'd have liked that, wouldn't you?
Well, actually, you know...
I think you might have.
Might have done, but you didn't do that.
No, it was too bloody cold.
Ah, yeah.
Certainly would not.
We don't want too many of them goose pimples all over you.
It's cold thinking about it.
So anyway, welcome along. Now, on today's show, we have a little bit of... Oh, sorry. Here we go. Sparkly, sparkly, sparkly on the show, which is going to be exciting. We also have Andrew Norris takes us on a walk into the deep, dark forests of Kebrab?
Of somewhere he can't pronounce.
Yes, in Croatia. Near the big mountain near where he lives.
I nearly had it in my brain then.
Yes, not kebab. It's in foreign lands, ladies and gentlemen, and I struggle. As you know.
Jeff Kellison says they give you Tang in jail here. Don't ask me how I know.
Talking of which, Mr. Kellison, very good news. Let's do this now whilst you're here. We have in the studio from the ever popular Red Bubble. We have, Julia, could you hoik in there to see what's in there? We have a gift from Mr. Kellison because he has been incredibly generous to the old Vobie One-Eyed Kenobi in recent years. And so he made a little request and we thought we can do this. So we've been to the wonders of Red Bubble, who, as it happens, have a selection of the Bald Explorer mugs. And instead of getting this mug, you get this mug. Which is, it doesn't answer you back, which is handy.
Doesn't scream in your ear either.
No. Do I scream in your ear? No, never. So I've got 3 of these. I'm going to get them signed. Lovely Julia and I will sign 2 of them. But also, we're going to get them also signed by members of the SMT. Better explain what the SMT is.
Senior Management Team.
Senior Management Team.
Because
these are the people who shuffle me about and push me out, don't they?
Because right from the get-go, I thought you needed some help.
Yes, right from the get-go, you knew I needed some help.
So was it conscripted and signed?
Yes, I think they were conscripted.
Conscripted, yes.
Faithful members of the viewers who had important things to say.
And who had appeared on both shows?
Yes.
Actually, no, not all of them.
No, because Mark English has not yet appeared on the Vobes show.
Didn't he go and do a trip with you? Oh, no, that was...
He did do a trip. Actually, he did appear on the Vobes show. It may have been the Bald Explorer Live when we...
Yes, I can't remember.
Unfortunately, that show got deleted because it was a little bit harsh. But anyway, we don't talk about those days anymore. For reasons which we can't go into. So, yes, Jeff, we have a lovely mug 3 mugs to send you, which we will get signed and send over. What are the people out there, the lovely viewers, what are they saying?
Well, we
Lovely
now have
Julia.
we have some new arrivals. We have Cynthia.
Hello,
we
Cynthia.
have Ed Loud. We
Hello,
have
Ed.
Stephen Musco, the
Oh.
Veg Grow podcast, Kevin's Rambles, Maya Harwood, and Laura.
And Laura.
And we're in Sussex. Hello, everybody.
Hello to you. So thank you so much for coming along. Is there anything going on? Are they saying anything exciting that we ought
Yes,
to address?
Maya says, "Oh lordy, SMT scare me, lol."
Yes, the SMT has been going right from the start, really. And last Christmas, we went had a special meeting of the SMT. Because what you may not realise, I know this is the Vobes show. The Vobes show doesn't have an SMT, a senior management team. It's just kind of Julia nagging me to do a show every now and again. And
Or nagging you not to do so many
or
shows.
to not to do so many shows.
Actually.
But the Bald Explorer, people got together and they said, Richard, you need help. And
Let's get you to a psycho.
I was going to say the
psychic ward.
The psychotherapists refused to take me,
I think I
so
need a psychic
they
ward.
felt they had to adopt me. And so behind the scenes, you may not realise this, but behind the scenes goes on a whole load of conversations, a lot to do with the group, which Julia is one of the many admins there, who help sort out that. Because occasionally we do have the oddball turn up, as in fairly recently.
Yes.
Yeah. Which I suppose we can't really go into that,
No.
to be fair. But every now and again we do get some strange people who want to join the group
Do get them.
and make a point, or just don't realise that we're actually a friendly group, and we're not one of these keyboard warrior groups. So Julia and team sort them out. So it leaves me to go out and do the bald exploring.
Glenn Johnson says, "Hello, trespassers."
Hello to you, Glenn.
Fellow trespasser.
A fellow trespasser. If
I'm
you
not
don't.
a trespasser.
No, you're not a trespasser. Your passes have never been tressed. Which is a bit of a shame, but we'll
Yeah,
worry about
whatever
that.
that means.
Yes, I don't know. You can read into that whatever you like, because it's none of it's true. By the way, boop, 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 they're your hosts, the hosts with the mosts. So that's all very exciting. Linda Kane says, Glenn Johnson, we should all blame you. Yes, that's right. He was the first there and responsible for Trespass Gate.
For it all.
Yes, Trespass Gate. I can tell you, for those that are in the know about this, no more has happened. Nothing else has been said, other than there has been a wonderful amount of support saying that I wasn't such a bad, evil person as people thought. And so that's reassuring, I suppose. But it's all good fun. And it's an interest. I mean, in a way, it's a test case, isn't it?
Yes.
It is testing. If you've gone onto somebody else's property by mistake, because there is a route on a map, whether it's current or not, and you've not done any damage, and you've gone to the point of interest and then returned, what is it?
You've not damaged it. You've not left any rubbish.
And it's not.
You said all that.
Yeah.
You've said all that.
I've said all that. I've already
just
said
said
all
all
that. It's not a criminal case. It's a civil case if they want to take it to court. And then it's like, well, what was the damage? So
No gates, no fences, no keep out signs, no private signs. Quite frankly, if I didn't want people going on my land, I'd make them aware that I didn't want them there.
yes, that's right. I think what would have been better, really, is if the landowner had caught Glenn Johnson traipsing over the land, because anyone seeing Glenn would have gone, yeah, no.
Yeah, she wouldn't have dared, would she?
Fine, mate. Yeah, go wherever you like. Whereas little old me, it's like, yeah, we'll have him. We'll have that one. That bald git. We'll have him. But Glenn, they wouldn't dare touch him. I'm going to get one of these mohawks. Oh, I might have to. I won't be able to grow one. I'll have to buy one. So yeah. Anything going on? Oh, Sid DeCosta. Who's Sid DeCosta?
What?
Andrew Norris' friend, if you've forgotten. Sid DeCosta. We didn't mention.
Oh, Sid DeCosta.
Oh, Sid DeCosta. I beg your pardon. I thought he lived on a coaster. We need some coasters in here, by the way.
Maya Harwood says, "Who on earth said that? You are a lovely human being."
Who said what?
Maya Harwood.
Oh, yes. Thank you very much. Yes, I am a lovely human being.
Come Walk With Me also said, "Who would have thought you were a bad and evil person?"
Yeah.
But you're a simple cuddly puppy.
That's true. I mean, I know I look a little bit like Dr. No, Dr. Evil. Dr. No. Not Dr. Dr. Evil. Right. But I'm not. Mike Myers, has yet to make another Austin Powers film. I would like to see another Austin Powers film. I did enjoy those.
Yeah, they're fun.
They're quite...
I do like Mike Myers.
Do you?
Yes.
That's nice. So Come Walk With Me says... oh, yes, you've read that.
I did. I've said all that. I've done all that.
Yes, I know you've said
Patrick
all that.
Rose said, if you had walked backwards, they would have thought you were leaving.
Oh, yes. If I'd have walked backwards on both occasions. He's like leaving from the north or leaving from the south. Which way is he leaving?
Ed Loud says, frankly, if I ever need to keep out bold trespassers, I'll just get some model cows and stick them in my field.
Well, you could, of course, you could do this and stick one of these signs up. No bald explorer. Julia gets it right. The Vobes gets it wrong.
It might just be my experience of having lived abroad.
Oh, yes, he has lived abroad. A broad and interesting life.
Hearing lots of different names from across the world.
Across of it.
Yes,
According of Kosovo, Croatia even, let's find out where and what the lovely Andrew Norris happens to be up to.
One of the major landmarks in the city of Zagreb is the mountain behind the city, where people like to walk throughout the year. This is my group here, and we are walking up to a little mountain restaurant, and it's fabulous wood here, huge beech trees. In the autumn, this place just simply glows with the leaves. But it's very beautiful here, and a beautiful backdrop to a beautiful city. Enjoy.
So there we are, out in the beautiful countryside near Kerbreb, and a lovely place it is too. And that's the mountain. He did actually send me a photograph from his kitchen window across the town, and you could see the cathedral in the foreground, at least I think it was. And then you saw this amazing mountain of which he was there. And yeah, those wonderful beech trees, they look absolutely fantastic. We'll see a little bit more of Andrew later on in the show, if I remember. So whilst he's traipsing over there, his alter ego is out in the comments as well. So anything Andrew, can you just remind me how you what the name of the place is? I know I can't bring it to mind. It's
I'm going to kick myself when he says it.
Yeah, so we're both going to kick. I'm going to kick her, and she's going to kick me. So that's
Where in Sussex says, where is the line drawn though? Some fields seem harmless for one bloke, but the village well here I found out is on private land. Can I visit that? Well, I suppose if you know already it's private land.
Oh, Zagreb, that's it, Zagreb, of course. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you so much. Yes, that's it, Zagreb. I kept putting the K in the wrong place, especially when there's no K in it.
Yes. Jeff Kellison says, unless you sit on the couch all day as a profession, eventually you're going to step on someone's toes.
Yes, absolutely. And who wants to sit on the couch all day? I'd certainly get very bored. Potatoes, apparently, they like it on couches, though, don't they?
Just call me a potato.
Just call me a potato. Potato. Now, ladies and gentlemen, very exciting moment in the show because we have, he says, quickly moving the camera into a certain position. Ta-da! Oh, wait a minute. Where's it gone? Ta-da! Now the webcam is not working.
Oh,
I put it on, put it off. I wonder why that is. Hang on a minute. Oh, yeah, here we go. Oh,
that's not it.
That's not it. There we go. I've got the hang of this. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. There we are, look. Tang. This was sent in by the lovely Jeff Kellison because I think the lovely Julia, there's a lot of lovelies here, the lovely Julia mentioned that you had tried Tang before. So tell us about your experience and where were you when you tried Tang?
I lived in Saudi Arabia, where it was quite Americanised, and they had such a drink as Tang. And I loved it.
How old were you at the time?
Well, I was 18 months old when we moved there.
So you're drinking Tang at 18
No.
months? What was it like intravenously?
I was just telling you how long I was there for.
Oh, sorry.
So, and then we moved back here a week before my 7th birthday.
So you could have been up to just before 7 then?
Yeah.
Ah, just before 7, something like 6:55.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think we're going to try some of this on the show and see what it's like. We're both going to try it. I've looked at the ingredients. I can tell you it is full of chemicals. However, it's been sourced by the other side of the world by the lovely Jeff. So we have 2 different flavours. What flavours have we got, lovely Julia?
We have orange and pineapple, and orange, my favourite.
So which one should we try first of all?
Orange.
Right, we're going to try the orange one. So, Julia, I noticed that there seems to be no way in to this packet, because if you look at the packet very carefully...
So you can trespass, but you can't find your way into a
yeah, but
drinks
look,
package.
there's no lid there. Look, there's no cap, and there's
That is a lid there. I can feel it.
Oh, you can feel it. Okay,
Yes.
you're gonna.
But no, I do know what you mean. There is no little tag.
There's
thing
no
to
immediately.
pull, so you just have to kind
so you've got to take the label off to
rip
start.
it or something. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, look, it's all being revealed now.
Ooh.
Show the lovely viewer. So we've got this. It's pink.
It's orange actually.
Oh,
but
sorry.
It's
Yes,
very pale
it's
orange.
a very pale orange
powder.
Yes, look at that. Amazing. So, what are the instructions? How many teaspoons of that nonsense do we put into one of these glasses?
Easy measure cap. So there's your measuring cap. Directions following the chart below. Measure Tang brand drink mix using cap into plastic or glass container. Add cold water. Stir to dissolve. Serve over ice or refrigerate.
Serve over ice. We haven't got any ice. We haven't got a refrigerator.
It's essentially 1 cup or 8 fluid ounces is 2 level tablespoons. So
8. What? Say that again.
2 level teaspoons.
8 ounces.
8 ounces.
Yeah, that's about 8 ounces in there. 8 ounces is what, equivalent to nearly half a pint, isn't it? Because a pint is 15.
It'd be about 210 millilitres.
Something like that. Ed Loud says, oh my God, when I was a weightlifter, I used to use powder that looked just like that. It was gross. Was it creatine or was it creosote? I know that a lot of weightlifters get the two mixed up and some end up looking like a garden fence and others don't. It's Tang-fastic, says Patrick Rose. Julia's doing the actual thingy there. Look at that. Move that out the way of the camera, he says, moving it straight into the view of the camera. So we've got a spoon and we've got some water here in a specially prepared jug to make it look nice.
Prepared earlier.
And look at that go in there. Oh my God, that went straight to orange.
Of course. Someone said radioactive drink. It does look that way.
Oh, does anybody remember Sunny Delight? Can you still get that?
I don't.
I thought that was taken off because it was found to be toxic.
I think they changed the recipe and it's now occasionally I've seen it available.
It's occasionally toxic.
No, now I've occasionally seen it available.
Oh, right. Plastic or glass, what does it do to metal fatigue?
It degrades it.
Does it?
Over time, yes.
Before you drink, before you drink, has anybody got a old, dirty, tuppenny bit? You know, if you take a 2p piece, one of the old English 2p pieces, shove it into Coca-Cola, it sort of almost dissolves the the copper in it. Maybe we should put something in there first, like a finger or a pen. Hang on, I'll see. I'll do the litmus. Don't put your tongue in.
It's fine.
I know, but we'll do the litmus test. Here's the litmus
So
test.
close, but so far.
No, stop it. Here we are. Look, I'm gonna put the end of this pen in. There it is. You can see it in there. It's like a magic trick. This, and now. Will it come out as a whole thing? Oh yes. Okay, so it doesn't dissolve plastic pens. I think we've established
I
that.
so wanted to drink all that, but that would have been so funny if you'd panned back to this.
And it had gone.
And it was just an empty glass. I'm sat there going,
I had a cloth in here a minute ago. Is it on the floor?
It's not over here.
Yeah, not true. Fair enough.
Did
right.
you? I don't remember you having a cloth in here.
Yeah, I left a cloth in here.
Is it between your ears?
Yeah, thanks. Anyway, right, so the lovely Julia's going to sample this. I'm going to watch.
Yum.
Dave Ford says, Julia, let Richard... Too late, Dave Ford. Let
It's
Richard
Tang. I once it, my precious.
Was it nice?
It is very nice. It doesn't taste the same as it did when I was a kid.
Is
But
it as
that's
sweet?
No.
Does it taste sweet?
It does taste sweet. It's not as sweet as it was.
Does it taste orangey?
Yes.
Actually, that is remarkably like orange juice, like fresh oranges. that is actually remarkably
Tasty.
offensive. Offensive, yes. It's remarkably okay. I mean, I'd rather actually have orange juice, but even when you buy orange juice in the cartons,
you don't know how much orange you're actually drinking.
Well, you don't know how much orange, and also because it comes from concentrate, and I'm sure it's got a load of sweeteners in. This has got.
It's hardly any different, really.
No,
I would say that in defence of it.
It's not sickly sweet. I mean, it could do.
It was when I was a kid. It was
Was it?
sickly sweet, and it was much more tangier. It doesn't have the same tang as it did. Hence, it's called Tang.
It's a slightly worrying colour because it is a little too orange.
Yeah. It does look very Sunny D. In fact, it looks thicker than Sunny D, but it's not thicker.
Although
we've reduced the richest level. Oh, you just done it. Anyway, we might be being offensive.
Yes, of course. Lara says, reminds me of Kool-Aid, except you don't put mountains of sugar in it too. You don't put mountains of sugar. What is Kool-Aid? Never heard of that.
I've heard of it. I have no idea what it actually is, mind. The only reason I've heard of it was from the Disney Pixar Cars film.
The Disney
Pixar.
Pixar? Oh, Cars film.
One of the lady cars gets rather heated when she sees a very fetching young other car. She says, "Oh, fetch me some Kool-Aid."
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
So that's a film that's I've not seen. But that doesn't mean anything.
There's a
Where
lot
in
of films
Sussex?
you haven't seen Dirty Dancing.
No, I haven't
That's
seen Dirty
weird.
Dancing. I've
For
not
my
seen...
generation, that's offensive.
Yes, I've not even seen Clean Dancing.
Ha!
Where in Sussex, Mr. Pilfold says 8 ounces is half a pound. A pound is 440, 50. Good game, all right, like that.
So it's basically
Guess half a pound.
227 grams or 2 burgers worth.
He says it's basically, yes, 2 burgers
water.
worth of content, which is very nice. 500 grams is approximately a pint, isn't it?
Yes.
Because you get bottles, which is more or less just over, isn't it? It's just over a pint. 500 grams. So 250 grams is half, and 8 ounces is, well, that's in weight, of course.
Ed Loud says to Where in Sussex, "Speak for yourself. That's half of one of my burgers."
Oh, is it? Yes. Well, you know.
Well, that tickled me.
Linda Kane says that the sad Sunny D had to be displayed in a fridge to give the idea that it had some goodness in it.
They said, I think, is what she meant.
Oh,
they
it's,
said Sunny
yes.
D had to be displayed.
Well, we don't want to upset anybody from Sunny D who wants to come down on us like a ton of bricks, because we're
Try it.
What do you mean try it? We're already fighting off illegal claims about trespassing, and whether there are
We're not fighting the claim. There's no need to fight it.
Or
so
whether there
shut
are
up.
too many trees being grown in Britain and not enough land grab. So we're fighting a number of battles here in the Vobes Empire. Maya says, isn't it an American drink? Yes, it came over from America. Which one? Well, this one is an American drink.
Well, I think, wasn't Sunny D
I think Sunny D's
originated
American.
from America as well?
Yes. Yeah, no, I think it is. Yeah. Put him in the corner, Julian. Julia.
I'm Cynthia Julian.
Oh, yes, that's right. Cynthia Julian.
I'm Julia Cynthian.
Oh, yes, make your mind.
Anyway.
Yes, Kool-Aid, the drink that cult drank to ascend to the alien ships.
Oh.
Who's cult?
I don't know which cult.
We both had a crafty shipment, and then there was silence in the show.
Stephen Agger says, "You have been tanged. I'm waiting for you to turn orange, Richard."
Yes,
rather than tangoed.
Anything could happen. Now, if you're going to try the pineapple drink next,
because you don't like the pineapple,
I'm not going to try it because I don't like pineapples. I find them offensive. And anybody who has, ham, egg and chips, but instead of ham, they put gammon, egg and chips. Has anyone had that awful gammon? Now, what makes is that boiled ham?
What?
Gammon.
Yeah.
When they put the gammon in gammon, egg and chips, and then they put a pineapple on the top. What's that all about? Horrible.
I love it.
Well, the most weirdest idea is
people put, blah, blah.
Yeah, they do.
Pork.
Blah, blah.
And apple.
Yes.
Apple sauce.
Apple sauce. Yeah. Yes, that's all right. Nothing wrong with that. You can put that. And
they put pineapple on pizzas too.
I was going to say, there's a pizza. What is that pizza? What's the pizza called that they put
It's
the
usually
pineapple?
Hawaiian, but sometimes they call it pineapple and ham. Ham and pineapple.
Ham and pineapple.
Yep.
What a most... Now, tell me if that is not an offensive food.
Some people do find it very offensive, but I like it.
Maya says, love pineapple and cheese on a stick. Well, that's okay, I suppose, if you like pineapple on a stick.
Les Jarvis says, hi Richard and Julia, you can obtain Tang from Amazon, but you probably know that. Well, yeah, you probably can, but
Get
I've never really
everything
thought
from
of doing so.
Amazon.
And the
She's often
wonderful
asking
chef...
for the moon on a stick, and I think Amazon do at $9.99. Plus the delivery costs, which is several $1 million, which is quite a lot, because you've got to send an Apollo mission up to the moon to stick it on a stick and then bring it back. But the actual item is relatively cheap.
Where in Sussex said it's often reformed rather than a gammon joint.
Oh, is it? And yeah, you see, I always think of ham. What's the difference between... Now, we've had this conversation before. What's the difference between ham and gammon?
I don't know, but Dean Cooper says gammon is thick bacon. It's lovely to eat. Yes, it is. It's yum.
Yes, it is thick bacon, and it's very fatty and greasy, whereas ham, off the bone, is not greasy. It's nice, and it's got a lovely texture, that, especially that Wiltshire ham that they do in the supermarket across the road, which we don't like to name for reasons of advertising. And that's delicious.
Come Walk With Me says, I find boy bands offensive.
Yes, boy bands, that's very true.
Maya Harwood says, nothing should be put on a pizza. Do you not like them?
Nothing, that's just
Nothing
bread then, isn't it?
Yeah, it'd be just a big bit of...
Bit of pile of...
flat bread.
Flat bread. You could put Marmite on a pizza. You'd be all right there.
Where in Sussex says, when I ran a pizza shop, people would ask to add pineapple to all sorts of weird pizzas.
Where in Sussex ran a pizza shop?
Yeah, apparently so.
Steve Pilfold?
I can't see you doing that, Steve,
no,
actually.
Steve, what are you talking about? You're a railway man.
You were born in the signal box, weren't you?
Yes, this is...
I don't know what we're punching at.
No, this is a signal.
Yeah. It probably is nothing like how they
That's what he
move.
does for a living. And anybody...
You need to see how you work in your signal box.
You can imagine him at home, can't you, with the kids, if they've been a bit naughty. No, darling, I'm not hitting you. I'm just practising for work. Which is great. And then I suppose he can stand up a ladder and go like that from time to time.
I lost track of what you were talking about because I'm trying to read the,
Yes,
the comments.
Read some more out loud.
George has a fried egg on his pizza. Odd boy. Oh. He's good and healthy at least.
Say that again. George
has a fried egg on his pizza.
Oh, on his pizza. I thought you said he had a pineapple on his odd boy. And now I don't want to go down that road because that sounds rather dodgy.
Anyway,
yes.
Patrick Rowe says, you like to ham it up, Richard. And Maya Harwood says, plain cheese and tomato.
That's true. Plain cheese and tomato.
Yeah, it's a good pizza.
As
plain
a good
cheese
pizza.
And tomato.
I think we should just pause for a moment to see what the lovely Andrew Norris is up to, because food may come into it. So, it's exciting, isn't it? Hang on a minute. I've got to get into the exciting moment of...
Nobody comment too much because otherwise I'll lose all those little
Yes,
comments.
you'll lose all these like comments. And this isn't a very long one. So, Andrew, how's that walk in the country going? I said, how's the walk in the country going? It's playing, but it's not playing. Wait a minute, I've got to do something here.
You done something wrong, have you?
No, it's just the order of service. If you don't get
funk it.
Yes, I know, here we are. Andrew, how's the walk going?
Well, I'm pleased to say we've reached the restaurant. The gang has just crossed the bridge. The dog is pulling, but we're going to have our lunch over here in the woods.
What are you laughing at?
We're in Sussex. My previous life, previous career, previous wife. I don't know what, they just tickled me.
Oh, I see. Before he was in the
pizza
round of
management.
pizza, you can imagine him as
He was a pizza
man.
driver and made his way up to area manager for pizzas.
I don't know. Anyway, that was Andrew Norris just having a nosh up. Andrew's Nosh, it's called. In the shed in the woods on the mountain. Thank you, Andrew, for that. In Zagreb. Yes. Zagreb.
Yeah, and it was lovely to see you. Thank you.
And he's gone to Zagreb the food. Grab it by his hands and... I wonder what he had. Did you have pizza? Do they have pizza in Zagreb? They must have. Or is it just Italy and England and America?
I wouldn't like to assume that they don't have pizza.
Well, they might. Maybe they don't do it because they may have Croatian food.
Well, they do have Croatian food, but they probably have other food.
Do you think in Croatia Here's a question for you, Andrew. Here's a serious question. In Croatia and their religion, do you think they're Croatianists? Might be. Oh, you love my jokes, don't you?
Yeah.
Sid DeCosta says, I've cleaned my boots, mate. I've cleaned my boots.
What, from the walk on the Devil's Dyke?
Oh, good.
No, I haven't.
Oh, have you not?
No, I've been out in them a couple more times.
Oh, is that Sid from the walk on the
That
Devil's...
is Sid.
Oh, Sid.
Sid DeCosta.
Yes, Sid. Sid, the IT specialist.
Yes.
Who is at this very moment getting all the wires and hacking into the Vobes computer, making the smoke that comes out. Sid, I didn't realise it was you. It was the DeCosta bit that got me. I was thinking that there you were sitting on the DeCosta's del Sol, having your own Tang. It's very good.
Ed Loud says, I've got to say, I really enjoy Andrew's vids. Well done, Andrew, if you ever read this.
Yes, we will.
No worries, I've read it out for him.
Yes, thank you very much. Andrew, keep them coming. We love them because it's an intro. I was so enamoured. There's a good word. I was not hammered, but enamoured by the wonderful marketplace that you have there in Zagreb. And when I come over to Croatia, I should be driving over because I don't like.
He says, making a swimming motion.
Yes, I should be driving over because I don't like aeroplanes very much, especially they keep crashing. There's another one in the bloody news that had crashed recently. I think it was Croatian Airlines or something. Oh, no. Anyway, no, it was some other funny.
The fact that a plane came down is not nice.
I was going to go to Finland because I've got a friend in Finland, and you go there by something called Finnair. Well, he's never turned up. He disappeared. He was on a journey to the Bermuda Triangle, and no one ever saw the back of him. Dave Ford says egg, bacon, spam and sausage, but without the spam. That's what he wants on his pizza. Kevin is now worked out that Sid is Sid DeCosta from our lovely... Costa, beg your pardon. And actually, I want Sid's face on a coaster. I want Sid... Here's a
Sid DeCosta, yeah.
Sid,
very clever.
I would like to get your face because you're such a lovely man. We had such a lovely conversation, and I hope you'll come on. We will sort out another walk, by the way. We've just been a bit lax, but I want your face on a coaster, so when I'm in my office, I can say that's my friend Sid DeCosta.
Costa.
I know it's Costa, but I'm just working.
I just couldn't stop myself.
She is
sorry.
Mrs. Number One, pedantic corrector. You thought Sid? You thought Steve Pilfold was Mr. Pedantic Corrector, but she is much more. Steve, you've got a far bigger challenge with the lovely Julia.
My mother must be so glad that I hang out with you.
Yes, why?
She gets less of it.
Yes.
I'm not so bothered when I hear her now.
Oh my goodness! Come walk with me. Says planes are the safest way to travel. Yeah. Well.
Interesting. Do you know what? I think even now to this day, I've still been on more planes and more flights than I have coaches. Useless fact for you.
Yes, thanks for that. I know statistically planes are. However, if you have a car accident, there are chances that you could actually crawl out of the car before it goes... and you could do that going down, 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 which just adds, a bit of extra effect to that.
If you're in a plane crash, you've still got
you've got very little chance of getting out of a plane crash when it's dropping from 30,000 feet.
So why are there a couple of plane crash survival films out there?
I was on The Bill, which is a television series.
Can I open another Tang quickly?
Yes, of course. I was on The Bill. She had to ask. Look. I was on a television programme called The Bill, and I was an extra, not doing very much I was the white shirt down the end of the corridor behind frosted glass. That was the sort of acting that I do. It's great and memorable. And on The Bill, I met this bloke who was also another extra, and he said he'd just come back from somewhere like New Zealand. Or was it? No, it was Japan. What's the airport in Japan? Anyway, it doesn't matter. It was some foreign place on the other side of the world.
Konnichiwa.
And he was on this plane, and on landing, there was some problems. And the plane, as it landed, broke in half. And it broke in half about one or two rows in front of him. And he survived. He got out, but a couple of people were badly injured, and I think there were some deaths. and it was dreadful. And he was telling me about this, and he said, you know, it was horrendous. But, and of course it ruined his holiday. He was out there for a holiday. It ruined his holiday, so they repackaged everybody who had survived, and they sent them home. And then he said to me, he was on the plane home, and he was sitting next to a bloke who was looking at the wing, getting very nervous about flying. And he said, oh, don't worry, mate. You got nothing to fear. I've been in a plane that's cracked open, you know. And you know, chance of it happening is so remote. But, you know, if anyone's going to be nervous, it's going to be me. And the bloke looking out the window turned round to him and said, look, I designed this plane and the wing shouldn't be doing that. Whereupon my friend went, ah! And nearly had a heart attack. So, yeah, don't tell me planes are safe to fly. But you can. Dean Cooper says...
I've never had an accident in one, she says, nervously, because she's going on a plane
I don't know, it's
months.
just something about being up there, you know.
My brother's wedding.
I'm just nervous about it. Linda Kane says, Dave Ford, oh yes. What?
Ooh.
Come walk with me.
No. Yeah, because...
Oh, yes.
Because you have to read up a bit.
Oh, sorry.
Dave Ford said, did anyone else spot Richard saying, that is where people park their dogs on today's video? Not being pedantic or anything, he said. And...
yes, did anyone...
Come Walk With Me said, no, wait. Linda Kane said, oh, yes. And Dean Cooper said, I've not seen it yet. Fiona Cooper said, yes, I noticed that, Dave. So, yeah, that was funny.
The interesting thing is, I was editing that video, today's video, the other day. Obviously, the other day. Couldn't have been in the future. And I was watching it back, because, you know, when you edit a video, you watch it back to make sure everything is in the right order. There's no glitches and things haven't gone in the wrong place, etc., which can happen from time to time. And also, often when you listen to it back, especially if it's stuff you filmed of yourself, you start actually listening to what you say, because, you know, you're editing away, you remember sort of vaguely what you were talking about, and you're going, oh yeah, that's how I was talking about that windmill there, and then I was talking about that, edit that to this, and that to this, blah, blah. But you get a better view when you're not actually having to concentrate on the edit, and you're just watching it back as a piece of work. And then I noticed that I said, oh yes, people come up here and they park their dogs over there, because I was thinking they park their cars to walk their dogs. But the brain didn't finish all of that sentence. So I had to actually ring Julia up and say, you'll never guess what I've done, just as a laugh. And she said, what are you going to do? Are you going to cut it out? I said, no, I'm going to leave it in and see if anyone notices. And blow
it was
me,
noticed.
Dave Ford, well, obviously, you know, Dave Ford does his own YouTube channel. It's very good. It's him with Logan, who happens to be a dog. A whippet.
Oh, whippet.
Or a whip pet.
I'm just being silly.
No, you be silly.
I'm being silly.
So now, that noise that you can hear, you can't hear this, ladies and gentlemen, it's too far away, but that noise that sounds like someone's got an angle grinder and is trying to get in through the front door.
That's not your washing machine, is it?
Is somebody trying to get through the front door with an angle grinder. It is actually my washing machine.
Oh dear.
Yes,
I think it's trying to get out with an angle grinder.
It's on its way out. Now, you may not have noticed that whilst I was speaking, the lovely Julia was up to something. You have poured yourself and made a pineapple...
An orange and pineapple.
An orange and pineapple, beg your pardon. Yes, ting, ting, tang, ting, 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 tang.
Yeah, sign's all gone now.
Wait,
oh, well.
I'm back. There it is.
Tang. Oh, there we go.
Tang, orange, pineapple, artificial flavours.
And guess what I did discover? It does have perforations around here on the label.
Oh, so you can rip it quickly.
Yeah, if you can know that it's there.
Yeah.
So put your fingernail through it.
It's a fact.
Did you see all the spittle that flew everywhere when I did that? That was weird.
Got my umbrella up. So what is that one like?
This one is really tasty.
Is it?
Like, that one was tasty, but this one's even tastier.
Even tastier? And
Would
does
you
it
like a sip?
Well, it's pineapple, isn't it?
You
Go on,
know.
I'll have a little sip.
I don't think you can taste the pineapple per se.
I can smell the pineapple.
Okay, you really don't like it. Per se. He's not fallen over dead yet.
Yeah, there's a delay and then the pineapple flavour comes in.
Fair enough.
So the question is,
extra tang.
The question is, lovely Julia,
Yep.
there are 3 of these tubs in the studio.
They're all mine.
And...
Sorry, is that not the question?
I was going to say, there's 3 of these tubs in the studio. Will you take them all away from here?
Yes. Yes, I will. Gladly.
Will you take them home?
Thank you, Jeff.
So there we are. We thank you, Jeff, for your very kind offer. And in exchange for that very kind offer, ladies and gentlemen, for lovely Jeff, we have a Bald Explo.
Bald Explorer.
Yeah, I'm wondering because Mr. Suggett, dear Mr. Suggett, dear Mr. Suggett, he has got a cup that we're hoping to also to send over to Mr. Kellison in America, where he's got his logo on one side and then on the other. And I'm wondering whether I should have it on both or whether you think it looks better in just one massive big thing. Answers on a postcard and send them to P.O. Box, Bald Explorer,
Makes
Worthing,
it all up.
BN something something O something E. I heard that. Oh, did you hear the noise of the psycho coming in?
Kevin's rambles.
We have a particular viewer who's so keen to get a point across and join Facebook, having emailed me to make a point and was
trying to get him to shush up about something.
Yeah, to shush up about something I'd been talking about.
She had a piffly point. One article.
Yes. Are you going to explain it? So we had this viewer who was a bit upset with me because I was talking about something. That's kind of irrelevant, really. And she wanted to sort of say I was wrong, but she did it in a way that started off being incredibly rude right from the get-go. And every now and again I get emails like this, people who are incredibly rude. And they think that even though they have a point they want to share with you, that the best way to share that is by being rude to you, thinking that you're going to change your mind.
But didn't you try to pass it off as being
and then she said it was
joking?
Yes, it was just joshing. It was fellow joshing. Now, I don't know this woman from Adam. Oh, it might be a man. But I don't know this person from Adam. And when their first thing is, here's this, so you can now shut up and moan about something else.
Belt up,
yes. You can belt up. You can belt up and moan about something else. I thought that's the first interaction with some. If Richard Suggett had sent that, or Matthew
you might have
Holdsworth,
taken it a bit differently.
you would have gone, yeah, of course I'll belt up, because you know them. But
because
if you don't know somebody and they do it straight off, their first email is like, here, look at this. This proves you're wrong, so you can belt up and moan about something else. I answered her and said, no, I'm not going to. Thank you very much. But you're wrong. I didn't say that you're wrong. I just said I think you're confusing two different issues, which she was. And so that was it. Then she came back and said, of course, you're very small-minded, living in your Worthing front room. You only buy books that you agree with. You don't have the television. You don't have the internet. You don't have this. You don't have that because you're a sad little man.
Do you know what's really sad? It's the fact that this person had to join Facebook, to join the Bold Explorer group, to post this one piffly article that you had to subscribe to read.
To watch, yeah. It was a Times article.
Sorry, but I'm not going to read that.
That you had to subscribe to read it. So, anyway, I don't know why
I couldn't find any other information on that small bit of information we got from that bit.
But I'm afraid she got booted out.
Yes, she did. I do wish the post had stayed up long enough for her to read all of the responses to that, to realise that you're not the only one who feels the way that.
Anyway, it is interesting though, because every now and again, out of woodwork, out of apropos of nothing, I do occasionally get some weird people. Somebody tried to get me to go to a Channel 4 party and claim to be one of the commissioning editors of Channel 4. And they said they were going to meet me at this party and they wanted me to go and all the rest of it. Well, I managed to see through that. And then later on, they pretended to be some ambassador from Russia who was bringing a party to meet us because we want to see the Bald Explorer. We've seen your videos and da-da-da. And of course, they weren't going to turn up at all. It was the same anonymous troll who was trying to get me to go there and waste my time, basically. So every now and again, you do get these oddballs who come out of the woodwork. It's quite fun. In the end, you start to work out, you can spot them. You start to spot them because there's something quirky about them that's not right.
If you've got the time and patience, you can just troll them right back. But
Well, I do
That doesn't really get anyone anywhere.
I do a lot of that on the phone when people ring up and say, how many PVC double glazed windows would you like in your house? I often say, well, how many windows? None, because I don't have any windows. Oh, righto, sir. How many if you were to have any number of UPVC double glazed doors, how many would you like? And I replied, well, none, because I don't have any doors in my property. Whereupon he's, what? You've got no windows and no doors? I said, well, no, because my house is on a very busy road, right up against a very busy road. And obviously you couldn't enter through that, and you don't want windows with lorries passing you by. So what do you do? And he said, well, what do you do? And I said, well, of course, in order to get out of the house, I have to go underneath the road in a special tunnel that was here when the property was made. And I come up through a trap door. Now, of course, if you could give me, the trap door is looking a bit shabby. If you've got a UPVC double glazed trap door that will do, that would be great. He said, oh, what sort of size do you want? And I said, well, as long as it's got clear glass, because every time I go up the trap door, I said, occasionally you get some very attractive young ladies walking over it. Whereupon he says, you're winding me up, aren't you? I said, yes, I am.
Took him that long, huh?
It took him that long.
So do you definitely not have that cloth that you thought you had up there?
Why, have you just spilt something?
Maybe.
Maybe. There's one in the kitchen.
Oh, well. It's
Vobes Towers.
only 15 minutes left.
Another one I had was once, you get these electricity people who ask you to, these power people. It says, excuse me, mate, could you tell me how much electricity is, because we can cut your bills? And I say to them, no, I don't have electricity. They said, what? I said, I don't use electricity. This one particular chap, on a Friday afternoon it was, he said, what do you mean you don't have electricity? I said, I don't. Everything here is clockwork. We use clockwork. We're going green. We're greener than green. We don't have wind power or any of this nonsense. It's clockwork. He says, are you sure? I said, yes, because you see, the thing is, we make clockwork oranges here. And he said, oh, what's that? I said, well, they're very, very ornate. We sell about 1 or 2 a year. They take us about 6 months to make. They're worth several £1,000s. And it takes a lot of time, but they all operate on clockwork, so we don't need, everything's on clockwork, we don't need any of your power. And he went, oh, right, okay. He said, can you recommend somebody else who might want some electricity? And he just took it, left, right and centre. The best ones, though, Mr. Suggett will hold me up on that, is when these car people, have you had an accident? Have you had an accident, they say. I said, yes. How did you know? I said, I have had an accident. I said, oh, yes, when did that happen? About 5 minutes ago. I'm feeling very faint. Please send a stretcher immediately.
I thought you'd told this story before on the Vobe show a couple of times, and I've just had proof that you have.
Yeah.
Elfwold said, I was watching the Georgie Vobe show from autumn yesterday. You were telling the same stories.
It's true then. Yeah. Must be true. Must be true. I beg your pardon, Mr. Elfwold.
Elfwold.
Yes, sorry, Elfwold.
Because I'm so pedantic, I'm sorry.
Yes, he said, Francis Bellringer is there. Hi, I'm not really following. Oh, right. But I am like the best person ever, so not a problem. I hope I don't know what he's on about. You
don't have to watch if you're busy, and you don't have to tell us that you're not actually following.
Hello. It's one of these. I'm not really watching you. I have nothing to do with you, but I'm letting you know. And I'm going out the room now for 5 minutes, but I'm not really going out the room because I'm typing this. But we appreciate your honesty.
Maya Harwood says, is that unicorn slime, Julia? Nope, it's Centos.
Centholes?
Centos.
Buffering.
J.W. Harville says, I told a guy I run completely off steam, which is true.
Ed Loud says, shut up. The buffering is the best bit. Yeah, thanks, Ed. There we were with lots of commiserations and stuff. And then you have to go and improve the show with a nice comment like that. It's outrageous. They are good stories. Thank you very much. I'll think of some new good stories. I'll have a word with my mate, Philip Mercer. Phil, have you got some good stories?
Oh, yes, I've got some great stories.
Talking of that, I have got a new book out, ladies and gentlemen. It's another oldie-woldy book that I've discovered on a shelf. This one is called Even More Ridiculous and Unlikely Stories from Philip Mercer. Published in 1821, before I was a man. It's what do they call it? A prequel. This is a prequel book. No, this one is actually called... Now, you can look this up online because it's a genuine thing. It's called Roundabout Sussex Downs. Look, I'll prove it by putting it here. Roundabout Sussex Downs. And it's about the roundabouts they've built in the Neolithic times on the Sussex Downs that have since sunk. And everybody thinks that these sunken roundabouts are dew ponds. But actually that's not true. These dew ponds were in fact, and this bloke here has got the proof, Roundabout Sussex Downs. He's got the proof that they were actually roundabouts. Neolithic roundabouts, which I don't quite understand. But, you know, they had chariots, didn't they, before the Romans came in? They had the chariots, you know, and they were... They needed the roundabouts so they could get, you know, especially in somewhere like Swindon. That's in Wiltshire. And in Swindon, there's lots of roundabouts. And there's, I think, the Magic Roundabout's in Swindon, isn't it? That's a roundabout like a clock face with about 6 roundabouts around the roundabout. So that's round around the roundabouts in Swindon. I don't think Philip Mercer's written a book about that. I wish he had. It would be much more interesting. Anyway, the point about mentioning this, ladies and gentlemen, other than boring you witless...
Well, they're still there. It can't be that witless.
is that Julia's doing her own thing. Next week, she's knitting.
Well, when you do go off on one...
I know, but
there's getting words in.
This is by somebody called Frederick F. Wood. And this is called Roundabout... Did I mention it was called Roundabout Sussex?
Oh, no. Is it called Roundabout Sussex?
This book was written, actually, to be honest with you now, to be truthful, written in published in 1924. Well, it's actually published in 1925, but it was written in 1924. Not that that matters. What does matter is this is written by a bloke who lived near Ditchling. I did a video walking around the Ditchling Beacon area. And he writes about the wildlife and the nature and all of that in the area. He talks about stoats. He talks about the rabbits, the hares, the foxes, the bird life. He talks about hunting. He talks about the downs and life in that tiny little nucleus area. And I found this and it's absolutely brilliant. He talks about the butterflies and the flowers. But even better, he talks about... He has listed what he has discovered in the area. Butterflies 100 years ago. How many would you say are there?
Ooh, we could count them.
You could count them, but it would take you a while. There's about 30, isn't there?
Yeah.
So here we are, look. Butterflies in this district. And then look, next to it, on the other side, moths. Moths in the district. And there's pages of moths. Moths.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. And more moths. I didn't know there was that many moths. And we're not talking goths, we're talking moths. So here, look, there's something called the barred umber moth. There's the bird's wing moth. There's the brindled beauty moth. The clouded drab moth. Cabbage moth. They go on and on and on and on. The dark marbled carpet moth. Now, I thought it would be interesting. These are things that are found 100 years ago. Flowers. He talks about the flowers and he gives dates for the flowers up on the Sussex Downs in that one little district. Okay. So here we are in January. On January the 1st, up on the South Downs above Ditchling, he found dandelion, groundsel, speedwell, and shepherd's purse. He didn't find a shepherd's pie. On the 2nd of January, he found scentless mayweed. 4th of January, gorse, red dead nettle. Anyway, the point is, there are hundreds of things there. But I bet if you were to spend some time up there now, how much of that would be left?
Hardly any, I think.
I mean, those moths. You don't see any moths anymore, do you?
No, not really.
I mean, how many butterflies would you see? Nigel Sadler, who is an expert on trains, model trains, says, moths are better to view as they rest their wings open. Butterflies rest their wings closed, pointing towards the sun so they don't cast a shadow. Well, that's very clever, isn't it? Town of Lifesmanship, says Edwold Yeovil. J.W. Harville says you could write a great book on the adventures of Philip Mercer. I think I might do, actually, because he's a fascinating guy. I've studied him quite well. I'm probably the only living person who knows that much about him at the moment. You're definitely ATT, Richard, says Linda Kane. What does that mean?
I have no idea. I was trying to work that one out.
Patrick Rose says, you're like a Roman on private property.
J.W. Harville says you need to write the actual book under Philip Mercer's name. I'd buy it. Did you already say that?
Yeah, no, he
I've
said
just
that
said-
you probably know a lot about him or something like that.
All right.
Have you ever been to Yorkshire Wolds? No, Yorkshire is one of the places I want to try and get to this year. They're apparently the same as the South Downs, but with less folk about. There are no folk up here.
Let's vote about.
Hang on, no, because Yorkshire is all that up there, isn't it? In Yorkshire, aye.
On to moors.
On Tut Moors.
Tut moors.
But
Tut moors.
Tut Moors.
Moors.
I wish I could send you some cabbage moths, as we have thousands, says Jeff Kellison. Yes, send
Cabbage
them.
moths, yeah, we've got some of them.
Send them in a... Yeah, we do have... We also have cabbages. Dave
We also
says,
have
I think there are
cabbage
9 species of moths
flowers,
for every species of butterfly, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, there's certainly a lot more moths, but I suppose what they're saying is in 100 years, I bet you we have...
Look like 19 moths for every butterfly.
Yeah, but I bet you in 100 years, if you go back and do a survey, I bet we've lost so many of these species that we don't see. He also talks about, he lists birds. He lists people are better on birds, aren't they? The
Yeah.
names of birds. Flowers, he does records of flowers. Hang on, records of flowers. There's self-raising flower, he's spotted. Birds in the district. Here we are, here's some birds. See if you recognise any of these. Blackbird.
Check.
Black cap. Bullfinch.
Uh-huh.
Carl bunting.
Curl bunting.
Curl bunting. Corn bunting.
Oh, corn bunting I've heard of.
Reed bunt. Firecrest. Spotted
Field
flycatcher.
fare.
Oh, fieldfare, beg your pardon.
Sorry.
Goldfinch. Little crebe. Greenfinch. Common gull. Black-backed gull. Hawfinch, sparrowhawk, moorhen, heron, house sparrow, jackdaw, jay, kestrel, kingfisher, lapwing, lark, linnet, magpie, house martin, sen martin, nightingale, nuthatch, ring ouzel, barn. Anyway, it goes on.
Yeah.
Hundreds of these birds, and I just
Nuts.
wonder if any of these birds actually exist anymore.
Elford says, I definitely find fewer dead moths in my car grill these days.
Yes, that's
Yes,
another
that's
thing.
definitely-
Insects on the old
Windscreen in summers. It's
yeah.
So few,
They're all being killed by the insecticides.
much less.
This is
than
why
there
we've
used
got
to
to
be.
get Arthur O'Cook back and his rambles around Willow Farm to tell us about. He is another genuine character, just like Philip Mercer. Don't write a story about moths, says Patrick Rose.
Too many holes in it.
Too many holes in it. Love it. Ed Wald says, Elfwald, beg your pardon, says
I just said all that.
You've just said all that. She's
I've
just said all that. You've just said all that. I think it's time to have a look at the turtle of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, time for turtle of the evening before we see the last from Andrew Norris. Oh,
This dough's not very good.
his head just fell off. Hang on.
Dough's not very good. Fimo, it is not.
There he is. What
It's
do you
supposed
think?
to be a basking tortoise with his
Oh.
face up to the sun.
It's quite funny when his head just lops down like that. Ready? Night. Oh,
It just fell off completely.
there we are. That's the decapitated turtle, ladies and gentlemen.
Done. Gone.
But now, oh, hang on. Wait.
Apple flavoured.
No, hang on, that's
Simple.
not supposed to happen. Pizza.
Behind me, the little stream below, with the last rays of sunlight touching the beech trees over there. Huge trees, some of them. Beautiful. And the path up ahead. Zoro. Hi there. Let's see. Hello.
Lovely dog. What did you call it? Zorro, did you call it? Zorro the dog.
It's a very, very cute looking
It's
dog.
a very cute looking dog.
Very
I
sweet.
have to say, though, I must... hang on, I've got to do this again. Hang on a minute. Just have a look at this face.
So we had a fabulous lunch.
He just needs a 12-bore shotgun, doesn't he? Just needs a 12-bore shotgun. Get off my land, you beggar. Doesn't he?
A
Eh?
funny thought, but no, he don't.
It does. Look.
So we had a fabulous lunch. Now
12-bore shotgun, definitely. That's your image, Andrew. Get off my land, I'll have you. I'll have you, Vobes. What are you doing trespassing on my property? Can you see them invisible signs I put up there? You get off my lovely, lovely Croatian thing. Get back in your car, you frightened of flying person, you.
Well, at least you all got to hear Andrew's lovely voice again, didn't you?
We did, and it's a
His
lovely
dulcet tones.
dulcet
Dulcet tones.
dulcet tones.
Dulcet tones.
Down along, over along, down the billabong. Yeah, no, thank you, Andrew. Do appreciate. I hope you don't mind me taking the mickey out of it, because some people get offended. I don't know why. It's not like I hurl abuse at them. Get off my land, you beggar! Fiona Cooper says, lovely blue sky. Thanks. Ernie Summit says, wow, mega buffering. Yeah, we do like to get the mega bufferings out. Lovely dogs.
Andrew Norris said, too much buffering, missed half my video.
Zora, oh, was there buffering in the video?
During the video.
Has the buffering stopped? We can play it again, Sam.
Sam?
Yeah, Sam? Famous.
Okay.
Play it again, Sam.
Okay.
You know where that's from?
Nope.
You're joking me.
Nope.
Play it again, Sam.
What do you mean, play it again? I played it very well the first time. Now you want me to play it again?
Let's see if we can play it again, Sam, here.
So we had a fabulous lunch. Now we're heading back to the car. My gang is behind me. The little stream below. And the last rays of sunlight touching the beech trees over there. Huge trees, some of them. Beautiful. And the path up ahead. Zoro. Hi there. Let's see. Hello.
There we go. How about that? That's just like the BBC, full of repeats. And Julia was telling me what film it came from.
Casablanca.
Yes, you knew that, didn't you? Play it again, Sam. I like the bit where he gets the violin out and plays it again.
Neither of us have ever seen the show, the film.
No, but it's a famous film. Nice dog, says Dave Ford.
Lovely dog.
Lovely dog. Lovely dog. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of the show.
Another ending to another show.
Now, on the Wednesday show, we're going to be rewarded because the lovely Julia...
Is not going to be here, you blessed lot. You lucky, lucky things.
No, she's going to miss... There's something coming in the post. We're going to be rewarded by something that Mr. Sadler has sent off. It should arrive in the next day, ready for the Wednesday show. I don't want to spoil the surprise, but it's the calendar. So it's a big A3 calendar. Now, Nigel Sadler, somebody's already asked me where they can buy one because they want the Bald Explorer calendar, a small version, an A4 version. I said that it's possible that we may have a very, very small number of them for sale, i.e. one. And that's this one up on here that is last year's. That is for sale for £10,000. So there we are. Attack, Zorro, attack. You can imagine standing in the field, can't you, going, Zorro! Zorro! And suddenly a bloke comes running up on a horse going...
That was the wrong
Oh, yeah, that was...
that was Hi-Ho Silver, wasn't it?
Hi-Ho Silver, the Lone Stranger. But there we go. Dean Cooper says, cold this time of year. In the summer, they have 95 Fahrenheit every day. I don't know what Fahrenheit is in centigrade or telegraph poles. Anyway, that's it. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. It's been very nice.
Yes.
Thank you to the Tang, which has been on display from time immemorial. I don't know how I get out of this. Not that one. This one. Back to there, to... Ta-da! Ta-da! Yeah, well rehearsed, that one. And of course to the big fat hairy mug that is the Bald Explorer mug. Bomb! So thanks so much for watching. Do take care. Have a lovely time. I hope you've enjoyed your Epiphany show on the 6th of January and that you've been out there visiting the wise men. Because that's what they do on Epiphany. So from Julia and I...
So sorry.
From Julia yawning and I still on the ball... Ta-ta for now.
Tatty bye.
Tatty potatoes. Goodbye. Goodbye. Oh, Jeff Taylor says that I had to help them load the beans, so I'm going to watch the repeat on the... Yes. Good. Yes. Take care.
Enjoy.
Bye.
Bye.